All right, hey everyone. I know I started writing this announcement email, and I kept wanting to show examples and stuff for essay one and the thesis challenge specifically, and the email kept getting longer and longer and longer, and I was like, well, maybe I should just make this into a video. So here we go. So I always get asked clarification on the thesis challenge example. So hopefully this video will help clarify exactly what I'm looking for. It'll show you maybe the purpose behind the assignment, and I'm going to go through an in-depth example of a 500-word essay that I just wrote in like the past 30 minutes. It's sort of a silly essay example, but to show you that the principles of the formula, the thesis formula, how you can actually use them to write your essay. So let's get started. So the purpose of the thesis sheet, a challenge, is to get you familiar with the formula, right? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back and watch the videos in lesson 2, the thesis formula, building an essay specifically. We'll take you through my formula. You want your topic, your claim, and then your reasons. Okay, so take a look at that. And this is sort of more in depth about using the key phrases that you're going to give in your thesis statement to guide the reader and yourself writing it through the essay as sort of signposts. It really helps with communication. And this is to show you that how repetitive it is and how you could practice. You can sort of, say, okay, well, how would I write an essay on this? And sort of imagine, okay, well, I'd want a paragraph like this. Okay. So I could sort of do it in my head. It's a skill. Just doing this is a skill. The reason I could write this essay in such a short amount of time is because, I'm good at writing essays. And that's not because I was born that way. It's because I, went through grad school and wrote tons of essays. I still write essays, So, so hopefully this will give you some insight to that. All right, so if you've seen the thesis formula, if not, pause this video, go watch that, go watch the building an essay video and come back here. But it's formulas and it's science, and not a lot of English teachers teach it this way, but I think it really helps people understand sort of the reasons why we do this. So basically, every claim you're going to make is something is something. It could be something is true, something is false, I like something, I don't like something, X is better than Y, B is better than C, things like that. So to simplify this, I represent it here with these letters. A is B because X, Y, and Z. This is your thesis statement. And then each topic sentence is going to be A is B because X, A is B because Y, A is B because Z. This is what you're going to turn in. You're going to have to do 3 different ones, right? So I want you to do it 3. So your thesis sheet, your thesis challenge should be 12 sentences total, right? So you're doing 3 separate thesis statements, and then each one you're coming up with 3 topic sentences each. Your claim doesn't have to be something, but it could be. So here's an example. So this is the example we're working with. I just came up with it. I don't even really drink soda, but I've decided to write an essay about it. The claim is, I like soda because it has lots of sugar in it. It has it has little bubbles that make it fun to drink, and it comes in so many flavors. Okay, so those are 3 reasons I like soda. So my claim, think about that. What am I trying to prove? I'm trying to prove that I myself personally like soda, right? So that's going to be very different from, here's an interesting history of soda, or why so many people buy soda. I'm not focusing on other people. I'm focusing on me. So I do talk about other things, right? And you'll see that in my body paragraphs, but I always try to bring it back to me liking soda because that's the thing I'm trying to prove. And that's what a thesis should do. In the back of your mind, or in the middle of your mind, or even in the front, you want to be thinking, how can I bring this back to my claim? Always try to connect it back to your thesis and think about connecting like an actual thread, right? You want to tie it there. And the key phrases here is going to set up the structure of my essay. Okay, so my first key phrase is it has lots of sugar in it. So as a reader, I'm going to expect an entire paragraph about sugar in soda, right? And you can already kind of start writing that paragraph in your mind. You might have to look some stuff up, and that's okay. As we'll see, you're allowed to look stuff up. I just Googled some random facts. You don't have to cite anything in essay one, and you shouldn't really be quoting, but you can look up facts, and you'll see what I'm talking about. My next one, it has bubbles that make it fun to drink. Okay, that's my next key phrase. I expected an entire paragraph about bubbles in soda. Okay, and then the last one is it comes in so many flavors. So those are sort of the threads that are going to be running through my essay. The first one, second one, third one. Okay, that's the reason, the formula. So this is what the thesis challenge should look like. When you turn it in, it should be 3 of these. I like soda because it has lots of sugar in it. It has bubbles that make it fun to drink, and it comes in so many flavors. I like soda because it has lots of sugar in it. I like soda because it has little bubbles that make it fun to drink. I like soda because it comes in so many flavors, right? It's very repetitive, and I'm trying to show you that, right? It looks very repetitive right now, but if you separate those statements with big, giant body paragraphs, it's going to seem a lot less repetitive and more like giving your reader a chance to go back and connect and remind the reader that, hey, this is why we're doing this. When you start writing longer essays, right, and you start separating the idea of not every essay is 5 paragraphs, like body, 3, that's like intro, body, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. That's sort of like a standard, like through high school and college, early college, later on. When you're writing like a 25-page paper, I hope a 25-page paper is not 5 paragraphs, right? It's hopefully going to be a whole lot of paragraphs. You might have sections in that paper. You guys have seen this. If you ever read an article on the internet, there will be subsections sometimes. If you see like a magazine article, a really long article, they'll have sections. You have to constantly remind the reader, okay, here's this section. And then at the end of that section, you'll even have a little transition reminding the reader of the thesis, and that's tying it up. So that's not really needed in a 500-word essay, but when maybe in the last essay, that's 1,000 words, that would work. Okay, so here's my key phrases, color-coded, just so you can see how repetitive it is and how it changes the focus. All right, so here's a moving thesis formula to essay, right? So here's the example. I wrote this entire essay. I wrote it in these parts. But what you want to do is step 1 is throw a little introductory stuff before your thesis. Okay, the thesis statement really should be the last sentence in your body paragraph. So introduce it a little bit, okay? You don't have to start with, since the beginning of time, everyone, you don't have to start with a cosmic thing, but something like this. Soda as we know it today was invented in 1920 by a man named Billingsby B. Soda Pop. When Prohibition banned all alcohol in America, Billingsby came up with the idea to sell soft drinks, also known as drinks without any alcohol in them. Today, the soda industry generates $14 billion of revenue a year, with products sold in every country in the world. I like soda because it has lots of sugar in it. It has little bubbles that make it fun to drink, and it comes in so many flavors. So there's that thesis statement again. So Billingsby I made up, and 14 billion I also made up. But you could very easily go find that just a little bit maybe about the history, right, to make it relevant. Okay, soda's been around, everyone knows, but an interesting fact about the history, and then an interesting fact about how prevalent it is, how widespread, how many people drink soda with like a $14 billion revenue. I don't know what it actually is. It might be higher, it might be lower, I don't know. But that's the point. So a little bit of history, sort of like an easing into the subject, and then bam, your thesis statement. I like it. And dear reader, this is what I'm proving in this essay, that I like soda. You're like, well, why do I want to read that? Well, you might not want to. But anyway, so this is sort of a simplistic example. But so there's a word counter here. For those of you who get really upset with having to write 500 words, and you might go, how could I write 500 words about everything? Hopefully by the end of this, you'll see that 500 words is not that much. Okay, you can write this paragraph. I'm sure you can. It's what, like four sentences maybe? 90 words. There we go. We're 90 words in. All right, step 2 is going to be going through all of your body paragraphs and fleshing them out. And a good way to think about it is each body paragraph is like a mini essay with its own claim, right? So my first signpost, my first key phrase is I like soda because it has lots of sugar in it. That goes at the top as my topic sentence of my body paragraph, and then I write a whole paragraph about Why I like soda? Because it has lots of sugar in it. I've had a sweet tooth my entire life. I enjoy everything with sugar in it. When I was a kid, my mom caught me sneaking into the kitchen to eat spoonfuls of powdered sugar. Even though sugar is unhealthy, everyone around the world enjoys it. Sugar is found in almost every processed food for sale in grocery stores in the US. If people don't enjoy sugar, why would it be part of so many products? In fact, soda companies like Coca-Cola have employed scientists to research the exact amount of sugar to put in a soda to make it as sweet and addictive as possible. In the industry, they call this the bliss point, and it is the reason why so many people find these sugary drinks addictive. I am one of those people, and I drink at least 57 sodas a day. So hopefully you can see here at this little end, I'm sort of trying to get it back to the claim, right? I'm not here to tell you why other people like soda, although I do talk about that in this paragraph. I'm using it to show that I'm not alone. Lots of people like soda, but I am one of those, and I actually don't drink 57 sodas a day, but you can see where I'm going with that. Now, the thing about Bliss Point, I remember from watching some documentary or something about it. I don't know if it was Coca-Cola, it was some company. They were interviewing this scientist guy who was actually employed by one of the soda companies to find that, and I remembered the name was Bliss Point. Okay. The other things, it's like a personal memory, which I made up. I never got caught eating powdered sugar with a spoon. I just thought of an example. Mine was chocolate. I would go in and eat the chocolate. But sugar is found in almost every processed food for sale in grocery stores. I mean, it's close to it. I mean, if you watch any of those sugar documentaries, they'll talk about how there's sugar and everything, all this. They'll complain about it. It's anyway, I didn't look any of this stuff up, but you could if you wanted to, right? And that's why it's important to, the people who are good at English are also good at just reading stuff and being aware and remembering little factoids like that. The more stuff you can remember, the more fuel you have for writing, right? So I always recommend read, and it doesn't have to be reading necessarily. Watch the news, read articles, become interested in things like, don't dismiss something because it has no, oh, I'm an engineer, it's not relevant to me. You're still a human, right? Just read little interesting things, find out things, learn stuff, because it can all be fuel for your writing. So the word count here for this body paragraph right here is 155 words. So we're intro, one body paragraph in, and we're at 245 words. All right, so here's the second one. I like soda because it has little bubbles that make it fun to drink. The little bubbles in soda is called carbonation. So, everyone knows that, but, hey, I put it in my essay. Soda is made by mixing carbon dioxide with sugary syrup. There's my incomplete sentence, so I would mark myself down here like this little comma. The bubbles dance around on your tongue, and it makes drinking it feel different than drinking other things like water, tea, or lemonade. Smell and taste have been shown to be highly connected, and the bubbles in soda send aromatic compounds to a soda drinker's nose, actually enhancing the flavor. Now, I didn't know that off the top of my head. I just went and Googled. I was like, why do we like carbonation? I literally Googled that. Like, why do people like carbonation? And I found that. Now, I didn't copy it, like copy paste, right? And I'm not going to need to cite that source. Like, that's, again, you don't have to cite sources in this essay. But, little facts like that can help, again, provide you fuel, right? That is easily something that you could have learned over time, right? That's not like a highly scientific fact. If you were saying something like, the flavor profile of a soda that's carbonated, it goes up by 30% every time 1.3% of carbonation is added per milliliter of soda. That would be something you would need to cite, right? But sort of like a generalized fact like this, no, you don't need to cite that. Carbonation has also been shown to decrease appetite, making people feel less hungry. That's another little fact I found. That's probably not enough to counteract the high amounts of sugar in most sodas, but I never think about that. I just really feel like the bubbles, I just really like the feel of the bubbles that make my tongue feel tingly. Okay, so that, again, keeping in my thesis in mind, the thing I'm trying to prove is that I like soda. These interesting facts are cool, but what I'm trying to prove is that I like it, okay? All right, so word counter. This paragraph is 129 words, so we're up to 374 words. Here's the final body paragraph. I like soda because it comes in so many flavors. The massive amounts of flavors of sodas is staggering. In fact, if you search on Amazon for soda flavors, you will find over 9,000 results. Anyone can walk into a grocery store in the USA and usually find 2 entire aisles dedicated to all the different flavors of soda. I just learned that from going to the grocery store, right? I always notice, like, there's 2 aisles full of soda. Um, the most popular flavors in America are Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, and Mountain Dew. I looked that up. Yeah. What are the most popular flavors? I'm not gonna cite my, like, whatever BuzzFeed article or whatever it was where I found that. That's just, again, it's like a general thing. If people read that and it's like some kind of outrageous claim, they might try to dispute it. Well, your facts, you got to check your facts. This is not high-end journalism here. I'm writing an essay about why I like soda. Chances are you have tried at least these flavors of soda, but there are literally thousands more. I've even found smaller brand craft sodas available in local stores. With so many flavors of soda to try, I will never get bored. Okay, again, bringing it back to me only because my claim is that I like soda. Okay, I'm not trying to claim that soda is good and you should like it. It's me. All right, so body paragraph 2 is 114 words, and so we're up to 488 words. Or sorry, that's 3. I forgot to change the number. I was like 2. Anyway, all right, and step 3 is the conclusion. All right, and in conclusions are the hardest thing to teach, I think. You do want to restate your thesis, but I always try to reword the key phrases a little bit, and you'll see what I'm saying. And then add a little something interesting, like a final thought, something for them to remember. So here's my example. Sodas aren't going anywhere. Even though they might be bad for us, I still find them delicious. The sugar and carbonation keep things sweet and add a little excitement to my day. As much as it might pain the health-conscious person, that should be a comma, soda is more fun to drink than plain water. And with all the flavors to try, I will never get bored of soda. So the word count here is 64 words, and that brings me to a total of 552 words. And here's the links back to the thesis: sugar, right? Carbonation in the same order, and then all the flavors to try. So I didn't use the exact phrases that I had, but the actual, like, you can see the structure there. And that's what I mean by structure, right? Those are the bones of your essay that should be running throughout. The flesh, all the interesting facts, the anecdotes, personal experiences, all that stuff, that's the flesh of your essay. That's the most important part, right? The bones, and the part of the reason I have you do this assignment is because what I call setting up the bones, and again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the Building the Essay. That's what I call the thesis statement and, sorry, let me close these, and topic sentences is the bones of the essay, because it's like a skeleton. The flesh is the most important, interesting part, right? You can set up the bones for any essay. It's how you flesh it out that really makes a good essay better than a mediocre essay. So takeaways from this: use the thesis formula to your advantage. Treat each body paragraph as a miniature essay, and your thesis is the theme running through them. Focus specifically on the claim that you are trying to make, okay? And that Essay 1 does not require sources, but you can look up basic, like, general information to help fuel your body paragraphs. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're not copying and pasting the literal words from somebody else's and then not citing it, right? And finally, you can do it. So again, hopefully this little video will help you sort of understand this assignment and see how it translates into future stuff. That's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.